Welcome back to the course. It's me, Lewis Wing, your continuous improvement coach from Flow Plus. In this module, we'll go into more detail about the word Gemba, a really important aspect of Lean and something that is common across many of the Lean tools. Try and cast your mind back to when I first mentioned it and try to remember what it means. By the end of this module, you'll know what Gemba means. You'll understand why a Lean leader goes to Gemba. You'll appreciate the purpose of a Gemba walk, and you'll realise the cultural significance of this direct management approach. So what is Gemba? Gemba is a Japanese word that means the actual place. Gemba teaches us that in order to understand what is truly happening, you need to go to the Gemba. If you're unsure about how a process works, or perhaps want to know more about a problem, go to the Gemba. In other words, go and see it for yourself at the actual place. The act of going to Gemba is extremely valuable and a direct management approach. Gemba is the place where the work takes place and the value is added. For a pilot, the Gemba is the cockpit of a plane. A surgeon's Gemba is the operating theatre, and a teacher's Gemba is in the classroom. Imagine if I asked you to describe what fire was like. You could spend hours talking about how it looks, what touching it feels like, the noise that a fire makes, and after all that, I still wouldn't truly grasp what fire is really like. It would take me 10 seconds of seeing fire in real life to better understand it compared to 3 hours of explaining it. The moral of the story, there is no replacement for seeing yourself and experiencing something, and to do that you need to go to the Gemba. You can describe a problem, explain a situation, or talk about a process, but it is always better to go and observe yourself. So why are we learning about this in this course? You'll hear me say again and again throughout the course, but common sense within businesses really isn't that common, and businesses often forget the basics. The reason we're learning about Gemba is because a good Lean manager will go to Gemba, and a poor manager will try and solve problems in their offices away from the action. Let me explain with a recent example that I had. I was working with a food manufacturing client conducting a Flow Plus assessment, and I asked their management team a very simple question. What percentage of scrap do you have? They spent 20 minutes tapping away at their laptops, looking at data and trying to search for the information, and they came back with me saying they had 0.1% scrap. As soon as they said this, I thought, well, that's a particularly low number. So I told everyone to put on their PPE and let's head down to the shop floor. We got onto the shop floor and I walked straight over to an operator wearing a red hat, which means they're a quality control member, and I asked them the same question. The person didn't even respond, they just pointed at a board and we walked over to it. And next to the conveyor at the end of the production line, on the board was a big title saying Daily Scrap Tracking Board, and below it was a list of all the reasons for scrap and a big number saying total scrap 4.1%. I asked a team member to explain and they said they tally up the scrap each day so that they can record it and track it. So how could the managers be so clueless that firstly it was even being tracked, and secondly how could they be so far off with the number? Well, the answer is they just didn't go to Gemba, to the real place where the action happens. If they had, they would have known the number off the top of their head. So if you want to grasp the reality of what's going on, go to the actual place and speak with the people doing the job. So how do you actually practice this going to Gemba direct style of management? The answer is with something called a Gemba walk. This is a structured walk with a specific targeted aim. The aim can vary based on what you want to understand and the nature of your business, but a Gemba walk isn't just a casual walk around to say hi to the different members of the team. It's a lot more purposeful and targeted than that. One target could be to do a Gemba walk to spot and quantify some of the 8 wastes, going to Gemba to witness and record the waste of motion or transport, for example. A point to note is that a Gemba walk is not a chance to make changes there and then. A Gemba walk needs to be firstly planned, then conducted, and also followed up after. It is your chance to gather data, collect evidence, and build your case so that you can solve the specific problem later with a team.
This is the sort of thing you might use for your Gemba walks. Step 1, plan. So you state the clear purpose for the Gemba walk with a planned route for where you are visiting and who you are speaking with. Step 2, you conduct the Gemba walk. You follow the route, speaking with the right people to gather the facts, see the issue and collect the data. This could include where the problem is biggest, when it happens, and how much of a problem it is. Once you've conducted the Gemba walk, you then follow it up with an action plan and communicate any decisions or next steps with the operators that you spoke to. Again, this helps gain respect and build a CI culture. And this last step is often missing in many Gemba walks that I've seen in the past, and it is crucial to keep everyone informed. It may involve introducing a new data capture method on the shop floor, or it may involve a change in the process, but by following up, everyone understands why the change is taking place and has been part of the journey along the way. And this is something we'll talk about later in other modules. I cannot emphasize enough how much going to Gemba saves you time in the long run. It brings managers closer to reality, and it builds an improved culture. A culture that turns the triangle from this to this, where operators are involved, raising solutions and not being told what to do.
The concept of Gemba and Gemba walks is one that is missing from so many modern companies. Managers hide away in their offices, behind their desks, and away from where the action actually takes place. One of the key traits of a good lean manager is their awareness of reality and how their teams and processes really work. The further you are away, the less you know what really happens, and on top of that, the less respected you'll be from the people that actually do the work. So my advice would be, make sure you put aside 30 minutes a day to do a Gemba walk and engage with the value-adding people within your business. And you'll be astonished at the cultural benefits and the more problems that get resolved. Throughout the rest of the course, I'll refer back to the word Gemba, and there is an apply module in the Improvement Tools 2 chapter where I explain exactly how to practically conduct a Gemba walk. But for now, please just appreciate the importance of this direct management approach.
So let's recap what we've learned in this module. What does Gemba mean? Gemba is the actual place where the work happens and the value is added. This could be in a cockpit for a pilot or a classroom for a teacher. Why do lean leaders go to the Gemba? To better understand the situation and grasp reality. You'll get more accurate and faster information if you go and see it for yourself. The purpose of a Gemba walk varies between companies, but it should have a specific aim. For example, spotting waste, gathering data and facts about a problem. And finally, going to Gemba puts the involving people part of lean into practice by showing respect for the people doing the job, with management observing, engaging with operators, and ultimately improving the way they work.